Alright, what's good YouTube? It's Jojo ASMR and welcome back to another video on the channel. So here it is, the video you have all been asking for like crazy. Today, we're going to be doing an extensive deep dive combo tutorial video on Ritual Beast. This is by far the most requested video I've been asked to do by you guys, so I want to take a moment to thank you all so much for your crazy support. If you find these extensive educational and competitive videos helpful or educational, please do let us know. Give the video a like. These videos take hours and tons of time to make. I was actually wanting to make this video about 2 weeks ago after my initial deck profile, but we had the Oceanic World Championship qualifier and I didn't want to make it completely obvious what I was going to play, so I want to thank you all for being so patient. In this video, we're going to be going over 1-card combos, 2-card combos, some genuine frequently asked questions I get all the time in terms of deck building options, what to banish with Prosperity, Colossus versus Protoss, and I'll be sure to highlight all of that. Feel free to use the timestamps down below to choose whatever combo or whatever part of the video interests you. If you want the deck list, you can refer to my last video, which was a deck profile showing the exact list I used at the Oceanic World Championship qualifier. This is before Infinite Forbidden, about 2 weeks before the set drops, so there is obviously going to be some changes, and not all deck lists are, set in stone. So feel free to use that as a template if you're watching this video sometime after info or whenever you're watching this video. I hope you find this video informative and educational, and if you do, like I said, please feel free to give the video a like. These videos take many hours to make, and this is by far going to be the most complicated combo tutorial video I've done, so please bear with me and I'll do my best to explain things slowly. Feel free to also pick up your Ritual Beast deck or core, and feel free to follow along with me as I do these combos, and of course you're more than welcome to rewind these videos as much as you want. If you're looking for more in-depth Ritual Beast content, I recommend checking out some of the Ritual Beast community and the other Ritual Beast YouTubers. They literally do nothing but make Ritual Beast videos. I'm by no means an expert with this deck. I made plenty of misplays with this deck over the weekend at the Oceanic World Championship qualifier, so take my opinions with a hypothetical grain of salt, I suppose. You can check out EdYGO, Shu, and Sawisky, just a handful of some great Ritual Beast content creators, and feel free to check out the Facebook group and Discord server. With that being said, let's just jump right into it. First, start things off slow, nice and easy, and warm things up with the 1-card Cannahawk combo. Now, there are many different combos and endboards you can make with just Cannahawk. It depends if you play Nemesis cards or other engines, but from what I have seen and from my extensive testing, this is what I believe to be the best 1-card combo you can do with Cannahawk, which utilizes the Nemesis cards. So why don't we just show you that? Also, something worth mentioning, a lot of these combos I'm going to be doing in this video don't involve cards like Nemesis Corridor or Petalfin, as I personally do not play those cards, or Ritual Beast Bonds. I personally don't think those cards are needed in the deck. In terms of answering the question, do I prefer Protoss or Colossus or Nemesis Corridor? To me, it's just obvious. It's Nemesis Protoss is by far the better card, as it plays around cards like Dark Ruler, Droplet, other board breakers and such like that. Whereas Protoss, you've pretty much won the game if that card resolves on your turn on the spot. And Petalfin I don't believe is a card that's necessary, as the only reason I'd play that would be for certain Ram Pengu combos, which I don't think is needed. So with that said, let's get into it. Starting off with 1-card Cannahawk. I'm not going to really explain how Anti-Cannahawk works or all of the cards individually. If you're looking for that, you can feel free to check out the video I posted about 2 months ago, really going in depth into detail into what each individual Ritual Beast card does, as otherwise this video will literally be 5 hours long. So let's get started with just a 1-card Cannahawk combo. We're going to start by normal summoning Cannahawk and using the effect to banish a monster from our deck. We're going to banish here Spiritual Beast Canna Lara, which on resolution will trigger to special summon from our deck a Tamer. Here it doesn't matter what Tamer we really summon, but in this case we're just going to go for Old Lara. Now we're going to contact fuse these, and I'm going to put my banish pile, just for the sake of the video, right over here. We're going to summon out Anti-Cannahawk. We're going to use the effect of Cannahawk to search, targeting Old Lara and Spiritual Lara. Then we're going to chain, targeting New Lara and Cannahawk. These will get special summoned as they have not yet been special summoned this turn. Old Lara goes to the grave and we search. A good way to remember what to search in this case is to now know that Cannahawk is going to banish the next ritual beast that we're going to need to summon back. So if it's going to get banished, it means we're going to have to summon it from the banish pile with Wen. If this is usually Pengu, Pengu will foolish the next beast, and in those cases we'll usually search Lara. Just an easy way to remember things. So we'll search Wen and use Cannahawk's effect to banish Pengu. You know what, I probably should just put the banish pile over here, so I'll do that. Now we're going to go ahead and make Q1 Falco and use its effect to gain an additional normal summon by banishing, in this case, Cannahawk. In most of your Ritual Beast combos, keep in mind to, have Cannahawk banished. It's important because you never know when you're going to need to add it back of Raratori to go for additional loops. So always prioritize having Cannahawk banished, and try to have cards like Spiritual Beast Canna Lara if you can, somewhere in your graveyard for follow-up and for certain interactions. We're going to normal summon Wen, use the effect to special summon the only legal target, Pengu. Use Pengu's effect. Here we want to go ahead and dump Winder. So we're going to send Ulti-Gaia Pelio, which is a psychic monster, to then foolish the appropriate monster. In this case, Winder. Now, the only monsters we have not yet spec'd are Winder and Wen. So, in order to get this Winder in the banish pile, we're going to contact fuse the old Lara and the Winder into Nochi Drago. Now we can go ahead and summon another Ulti Cannahawk using the Pengu and the Winder and the Wen into Ulti Canna. Using the effect here, targeting Pengu and Wen. Now we can chain it, targeting Wen and Winder. These will get summoned. Pengu returns to the grave, and we're going to search Elder. Elder is usually one of the searches you do in many of the combos, and remember, usually your last search will always be Steeds. Now, we want to keep the level 4 on the board so that we can go ahead and do the Nemesis part of the combo. So we're going to link off our 3 other monsters and go for Raratoria. Use the effect to add back that Cannahawk that we made sure to banish earlier in the combo. Now we can immediately normal summon Elder, which gives us an additional normal summon, and Cannahawk will now banish the final beast in our deck, in this case, Apelio. From here, we're going to go ahead and loop Cannahawk another time. As the only ritual beasts we have not summoned are Elder and Apelio, we can go effect here, targeting Cannahawk and Elder. We can chain, targeting Elder and Apelio. These will get spec'd. This returns to the grave, and we'll search for the final time, Steeds. Now we can perform the Nemesis part of the combo with our 2 level 4 monsters. Use the effect of the Banshee to search a copy of Nemesis Flag. We can now use Flag's effect to summon itself and return the Ulti-Gaia Pelio to recur a resource in the extra deck. And here we're going to search Protos. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and make an IP Masquerena using our Banshee and the Elder. And from here we can special summon Arch Nemesis Protos by banishing 3 different attributes, attributes, I can't remember at this moment, but we're going to banish the Banshee, the Nochi Drago, which is a light, and we're going to banish Winder. Winder and Apelio are ideal monsters to have banished, as they can come up in grind games. On resolution, because Banshee was banished and we control a Pyro, we can spec it, and now we can resolve Protos here, calling Fire, so these will be destroyed. And this is our end board. So your end board is a Protos, FTKing Fires, you can obviously also call Dark, and we have a Steeds and a Raratoria. Of a 1-card Cannahawk combo, this is quite strong. Now let's talk about what you can do with just 1 Pengu. So for context, I personally don't play, as I mentioned, Petalfin, Nemesis Corridor, or Bonds. And all of those cards are necessary if you want a pretty solid Pengu combo. The reason I don't play these cards is because there are so many cards you can draw with Pengu to make the combo even better. You can draw an Emergency Teleport, Spiritual Beast Canna Lara, Inheritance, Pot of Prosperity, D-Shifter, Etele, if I haven't already mentioned that, Nemesis Flag, and so with there being about 20 other cards I can draw with Pengu, I feel like it's unnecessary to add suboptimal other engine cards, where those spots could just be non-engine, which is really important. So I'm going to show you what I personally do with one Ram Pengu. However, if you want, you can check out other resources online that show other combos you can do with just a Ram Pengu. But what I personally do is just a mini Turbo Protoss board that gets follow-up. We can either FTK Fire or Dark. We're going to start by normal summoning Pengu, use the effect to Foolish Burial Spiritual Beast Canna Lara, and we're going to banish here Anti-Nibiru. Now we can contact fuse these and summon out Anti-Nibiru. Spiritual Beast Canna Lara triggers on res to special summon from our deck a copy of Cannahawk. Now we can use Cannahawk's effect, and here we're going to banish here Winder. The reason for this is we need 2 level 4s on the board, so we can go for the Nemesis play. Now we can tag out Anti-Nibiru, and we're going to special summon the Spiritual Beast Canna Lara in our banish pile. From here, we can contact fuse these into Anti-Cannahawk to get a search. Use the effect targeting Spiritual Beast Canna Lara and Winder. Then we can chain it, targeting Winder and Ram Pengu. These get specced, Lara goes to the grave, and now we can search for follow-up. In this case, we can go ahead and search an old Lara for next turn. Now we can use Pengu's effect here to dump another copy of Spiritual Beast Canna Lara for follow-up next turn. So we're just going to do that. And from here, what we can do is now do our Nemesis play. Summon a Banshee, use the effect. Here we're going to search out Flag. Use the effect of Flag to return the Raratory to recur a resource. And here we're going to search out Protoss. From here we can summon Protoss by banishing Banshee, SBTL, and Ram Pengu. On res, Banshee triggers the summon, and from here you can either FTK the Fires or Darks. And for your graveyard, you have an SBTL for next turn to contact fuse into another Notchi and Etele from the deck, as well as Lara. Now let's start taking a look at some of the stronger combos that the deck has to offer, which involve Elder plus Cannahawk or Elder plus Ram Pengu. These combos are especially strong because those 2-card combinations are the only ones that allow you to realistically play through Nibiru. So I'm going to be showing you 2 different lines for Elder Canna and Elder Pengu. One that goes for a full greedy board and disrespects Nibiru, and one that does play around Nibiru. So for the first combo, we're going to start by normal summoning Elder and normal summoning Cannahawk. We can use Cannahawk's effect. Here we're going to banish SBTL. We're not going to trigger the effect just yet. Now we're going to loop Cannahawk. Cannahawk will target SBTL and Elder, then we'll chain, targeting Canna and Elder. Resolve our chains, and here, just like the first combo, we're going to search when. We'll use Cannahawk now, like the first combo, and banish Ram Pengu. Now we can go ahead and make our link to Kimon Falco. Now, instead of banishing Cannahawk, we're going to banish here Lara. We're going to go Chainlink 1 Lara to summon from the deck, Chainlink 2 Wen, targeting Pengu to spec it. Lara resolves, and we're going to summon, in this case, Winder. From here we can use the effect of Ram Pengu to load another Lara into the graveyard. The reason for this is because in this version of the combo, Spiritual Beast Canna Lara is both a tamer and a beast, and as such can be special summoned simultaneously off Anti-Cannahawk, as it has the bracket S. From here, we're going to contact fuse by banishing Cannahawk and Lara to summon out Anti-Nibiru. At this point, we're going to go ahead and do the Nemesis part of the combo, overlaying our Pengu and our Winder into Infernal Flame Banshee, and searching out our Nemesis flag. Now we can use the effect of flag, returning Ulti-Gaia Pelio to recur a resource. Flag triggers to search Protos. Now from here, unlike last time where we left the flag on the board, we're actually going to link off the flag. The reason for this is because we're going to be summoning a Pelio at some point in this combo, which is a Pyro monster, and so that way we'll still be able to summon back the Banshee. So keep in mind and make sure to remember and pay attention to lines where you have to keep flag on the board and lines where you can link it off as you'll summon a Pelio. We'll use the effect of Raratoria to add back the Cannahawk that we banished to summon Nochi Drago and normal summon it. Now we can use the effect to banish a Pelio. Now we're going to loop Cannahawk twice. Remember, when was normal summoned? We're going to go Ulti Cannahawk effect, targeting here, Cannahawk and SBTL. Then we'll chain, targeting SBTL and SBTL. These will get spec'd, Cannahawk returns to the grave, and we'll search here another copy of SBTL or any follow-up if you wish. Now we're going to use Cannahawk again, targeting SBTL and Wen. Then we will chain, targeting Wen as it has not yet been spec'd, and a Pelio that we banished off Cannahawk. Remember, we could summon both of these at the same time because they're both tamers and beasts. And here we're going to search finally Steeds. Now, because we control a Pyro, we can special summon Arch Nemesis Protos by banishing 3. Banshee, SBTL, and we can banish here Kimon Falco. Banshee triggers to summon itself in the banish pile as we control a Pyro, and we can also use a Pelio's effect for free, in this case banishing something like Winder. Now we can use Protos to declare fire or any attribute, and from here you have 2 different options in terms of your end board. Firstly, you can link these 2 into IP, or what I personally like to do is contact fuse an ulti, a tamer, and a beast into Gaia Pelio, opting for a negation board. And this can be our end board. What this allows you to do is after you use your negate, you can use Nochi Drago to tag itself out during your opponent's turn to summon Raratoria, still getting value out of your banish. So it just depends what you want your end board to be, but that's what we can do. Let's now look at Elder and Pengu, which is virtually the same end board, but the sequencing is very slightly different. I'm going to start by normal summoning Elder, then normal summoning Pengu. In all of these combos that use Pengu, you're usually going to go ahead and Foolish Burial SBTL, as that one is live in the graveyard. Here we're going to go ahead and loop Cannahawk, use the effect of Ulti Cannahawk, targeting Gaia Pelio and Pengu, then we can chain, targeting Elder and Pengu. These get spec'd, this returns, and unlike the Cannahawk combos that search when, remember, we're going to Foolish Cannahawk here, which means we need to reborn it from the graveyard, which means we need Lara. Now we're going to use Pengu once again. We're going to Foolish Burial here Cannahawk by banishing Ulti Cannahawk. From here, just like last time, we're going to make Kimon Falco. Now we can use Kimon Falco's effect. We're going to banish SBTL, normal summoning Lara, going Chainlink 1 Lara, Chainlink 2 Lara, targeting Cannahawk. This gets summoned, and this resolves special summoning Winder from the deck to get the level 4 for the Nemesis combo. At this point now what we can do is use Cannahawk's on-field effect, and here we're going to go ahead and banish a second copy of Spiritual Beast Tamer Lara, as remember, we're going to be special summoning them both simultaneously in the combo. Now we can go ahead and start the Nemesis combo by summoning Banshee, using the effect, detaching specifically Cannahawk here. And we're going to search Flag. Now we can special summon Flag by returning Gaia Pelio, and use the effect to search Protos. Now this is extremely important. We're going to contact fuse by banishing Cannahawk and Elder to load Cannahawk in the banish pile to summon out Nochi Drago. The reason for this is we want to add back Cannahawk off the link 4 to go ahead and get a Pelio. We're now going to link off the Flag, the Banshee, as well as the Kimon Falco to make Raritari. Now we're going to use Raretori's effect to add back that Cannahawk that we banished for the contact fuse, and immediately normal summon it, triggering its effect to banish here, Apelio. All of the sequencing is extremely important, so just really burn this combo into your retina. Now, the only ones we have not special summoned are Old Lara and double SBTL. We'll summon Cannahawk, use the effect targeting Cannahawk and SBTL. Then we'll chain, targeting 2 copies of SBTL. He's summoned. This goes to the grave, and we'll search follow up. In this case, you can search Pilica if you wish, or another SBTL. Now we'll contact fuse once more, summon Cannahawk, use the effect targeting SBTL and Apelio, chain, targeting Lara and Apelio. Remember, these are the last 2 that have not been special summoned. This was normal summoned off Kimon Falco, and we'll get our final search in the copy of Steeds. From here, we can go ahead and now summon Protos as we control a Pyro monster in the form of Apelio. We'll banish Lara, Banshee, and in this case, we can either banish, actually, my bad, we're going to banish here Ulti Guy Apelio, Flame Banshee, and Kimon Falco. Having a Lara in the graveyard is always nice, as it's great for the grind game, and in general is just strong. Trigger effect, Banshee to summon. Now we can FTK the fires with Protos, and we can put these either into an IP Masquerena, and this is our end board. Follow up with Steeds, FTK the fires, this can't be targeted, and you're all good to go. So the reason why Elder Cannahawk and Elder Pengu are the strongest combos in the deck is because they are the only permutations that allow you to play around Nibiru. They are also in general just the strongest hands into hand traps like Imp and Veiler and Morna. So now let me show you a safe line where you can play around Nibiru. I'll first show you the Elder and Cannahawk variant. We'll normal summon Elder, normal summon Cannahawk, and instead of banishing SBTL, we're going to banish here Pengu. We'll go ahead and loop Cannahawk. Use the effect of Cannahawk. We're going to target, in this case, Pengu and Elder. Sorry, Canna and Elder. And then we'll chain, target Pengu and Elder. These go to the grave. And this is a very important note to make. Your opponent has the option to Nibiru you at certain points in the combo. If they opt to nib you in the earlier part of the combo, you will need to search when. If your opponent doesn't opt to nib you at this exact moment of the combo, you will need to search Lara. So how do you go ahead and circumvent this and check for everything? Well, should you open another Ritual Beast card, you can search Inheritance. This makes it so you are prepared for all possibilities of getting nibbed. If you get nibbed right here on the 5th summon, you can search the appropriate tamer. Most of the time, 99% of the time, you will never get nibbed on this spot. So assuming we don't get nibbed in this spot, we'll search Lara. Now we'll use Pengu's effect to get SBTL loaded in the graveyard. We'll banish our Psychic Apelio and Foolish SBTL. One thing I'll also point out, which is critical to remember, is that should you open a hand, in this case we have Elder Canna, and the other 3 cards in our hand, or 2 or 1 of those cards in our hand, the remaining 3 cards are another Ritual Beast card, I will tend to dump Raretori and keep the Guy Apelio in the extra deck, and instead of going for Appaloosa to beat Nibiru, I'll go for this card, Guy Apelio, as it also can beat board breakers. From here, we'll go ahead and link summon into Kimon Falco. Should your opponent nib you here, it will do virtually nothing, and I'll explain why shortly. From here, we'll use the effect of Kimon Falco. We're going to banish here Cannahawk to normal summon Lara. Lara triggers to special summon out SBTL. Now your opponent must nib you, because if you don't, these will all be made into Appaloosa. Or contact fuse by banishing them to summon Ulti Guy Apelio. Let's say we get Nibiru'd at this spot here, for example. What happens in this case? Well, I'll show you. We'll get Nibiru'd. From here, we'll go ahead and contact Fuse by banishing Lara and Old Lara. So the way this deck beats Nibiru is by holding the Notchi effect, the Notchi summon, and by holding the effect of SBTL to summon from the deck. Now we can trigger the effect of SBTL to summon out Apelio. We can now use Apelio's effect to banish the Falco in our grave, and now use Notchi's effect to tag itself out into Falco. Use Falco's effect to tag itself out to summon out the only legal targets in our banished pile, Cannahawk and Old Lara. Now we can use Cannahawk's effect, banishing Steeds, and from here we can go ahead and perform the Nemesis combo. We can search out our flag, use the effect of flag to return the Ulti-Guy Apelio that I banished. Flag resolves, searching Protos. From here, we can turn the token into Link Spider, which in my opinion is absolutely mandatory to play. At this point we can make SP Little Knight using the Banshee and the Spider. Use the effect of SP, banishing Banshee, which on resolution will summon as we control flag. And from here, you have the option to FTK the fires, or you may optionally go for another Cannahawk play. We'll summon Raratoria, use the effect to add back the Steeds. And from here, we can special summon Protos by banishing 3. Now we can FTK the fires. And so through Nibiru, you have ended on this board. If you don't get Nibiru'd in that spot, you will just make an Appaloosa, and you will perform the exact same combo except the Raratoria will be here. Here is that exact same version of the Anti-Nibiru line, but with Pengu Elder. We'll normal Elder, we'll normal Pengu. Let's say in this case I want to go for the Ulti-Guy Apelio line. Let's say I've opened 5 Ritual Beast cards. So in this case, I want to keep my Guy Apelio in the extra deck, so I'll send my Raratoria, or an extra copy of Falco if you play that. Foolish the Lara, Contact Fuse, into Ulti Cannahawk. Luke Cannahawk targeting Pelio, and Pengu and Chain targeting Elder Pengu. Here we're going to search. Instead of that, we'll get Lara. Remember, you may also get Inheritance if you're worried about getting nibbed here. Now we'll use Pengu. We need to get Cannahawk in rotation, so we're going to banish Ulti Cannahawk. Foolish out our Cannahawk. And we'll link these into Falco. We'll use the effect of Falco here, banishing Cannahawk to normal summon the Lara. Lara triggers to bring back SBTL. So, let's say in this case, they don't nib us. Well, if we get nibbed here, we'll do the exact same combo we did last time. But let's say we don't get nibbed, we can make Appaloosa, or in this case, I'll choose to make Ulti-Guy Apelio. Let's say I have another Ritual Beast card in my hand as a negate. On res, SBTL triggers to special summon Apelio. Now because Falco is already banished, we don't need to banish it, but we're still going to use it to banish Raratoria to recur it as a resource of flag. Now we can contact views using Pengu and Elder. Summon Notchi, tag out Notchi for Falco, and like last time, tag out Falco for Cannahawk and Lara. Now we'll use the effect of Cannahawk, banishing Steeds. We'll make our Banshee. Use the effect to search out flag. We'll special summon flag, returning the Raratoria, and use the effect to search Protos. From here, we'll go ahead and make Little Knight. Use the effect of Little Knight, banishing Banshee, which summons itself back. Now, I will say if you don't get Nibiru'd and you do play around it successfully, you will not be able to Protos call Fire. So that's just something to keep in consideration. We'll summon Protos by banishing 3. I usually like to have Lara banished because for the follow-up, as I personally play Zealantis, we'll use Revatory to add back Steeds, and this is our end board. The reason, by the way, why I like to have Lara banished is because I play Zealantis. On the follow-up, I'll usually go Revatory to add back Lara, link this off into Zealantis, normal summon Lara, bring back the Revatoria, and go for game. So that's just something to keep in note if you play Zealantis. Let's now start getting into some of the more complicated and convoluted combos, which involve Spiritual Beast, Canna Lara, and in this case, Cannahawk. These combos are crazy because you have to basically do a shopping checklist of searches with Anti-Nibiru. An easy way to remember this is by these 4 dot points. Any combo that uses Spiritual Beast Canna Lara will almost always involve special summoning 2 copies of Spiritual Beast Canna Lara simultaneously of Anti-Nibiru. That's the first one. The second one is Lara gives you an additional normal summon. One of your searches with Cannahawk will be Elder, and the second search will be with either Pengu or Elder depending on which one you start with. Next, you will also be searching Zephyr and Pilica, and finally you'll be searching Steeds. So just to remind you, number 1, you're going to be speccing 2 copies of Lara in this combo. You're going to be searching either Elder followed by X. In this case, we have Cannahawk, so it'll be Pengu. If we had Pengu, it'd be Cannahawk would be searching, and then we'll be searching Pilica. Okay, so this is what this sort of combo would look like. We'll discard Lara to normal summon. We'll use Cannahawk, and we're going to banish SBTL. We'll use the effect to summon out old Lara, just like the 1-card Cannahawk combo. Now we're going to contact Fuse, summon Anti-Nibiru. We'll use the effect of Anti-Nibiru, and you would think that we would target Lara and Cannahawk, then chain to special summon Cannahawk and Lara. But here, we're not wanting to summon Lara because we want to special summon 2 of them to get maximum value. So we're going to use Cannahawk targeting Cannahawk and new Lara to return them to the grave, not tag out, and search for Elder. Remember this, in all the combos that have SBTL plus a guide, you will usually want to special summon 2 of them simultaneously, so you will just search. Now we're going to contact Fuse, banishing 2 SBTL from the grave to summon out Notchi. Now we'll tag out Cannahawk, targeting both the SBTLs to summon them. We'll now contact Fuse by banishing them both, as they're both Tamers and Beasts, to summon Cannahawk, and use the effect to search, targeting both SBTLs to now search for that Pengu. Take a few moments, a few hours at even, to just get familiar with that, as it's jumping through the hoops, as I call them. Now remember, we haven't actually normal summoned, as we started off with SBTL discard to NS. Well, now normal Elder and normal Pengu. Use the effect of Pengu, banishing Apelio to Foolish Winder. Now remember, these have both only been normal summoned, so we'll loop Cannahawk, use Cannahawk's effect to search, targeting Lara and Pengu. We'll chain, targeting Pengu and Elder. Now we're going to search Zephyr and Pilica. We'll use the effect of our Ram Pengu here, banishing Revatoria to Foolish Burial. In this case, a second copy of Elder, or, if you so wish, another SBTL. Usually, you just want the free banish to go ahead and special summon back to have targets for Cannahawk, so we're going to send Elder here for free. Now we're going to go ahead and do the Kimon Falco play. We want the level 4 on the board, so we'll link off Elder and Cannahawk into Falco. Use the effect, banishing Winder. Remember, we have not special summoned Cannahawk. We want Winder in the banish pile for fodder. We'll normal Pillica, use the effect to reborn Cannahawk. Now we can use Cannahawk's effect, and here we're going to banish Apelio. Now we'll go ahead and loop Anti-Nibiru. We'll use Cannahawk's effect. In this case, we will target Gaia Apelio and Pillica. We'll then chain, targeting Pillica and Winder. This returns to the grave. These will get special summoned and will search. In this case, for Steeds. Now we can perform the Nemesis combo. The reason we did this, by the way, is because now we have Cannahawk and Apelio loaded in the banish pile for our final loop. We'll use the effect, search for flag, trigger the effect of flag to return the Raratoria that we went ahead and dumped for free. Search Protoss. Now we will go ahead and go for our Ulti-Raratoria line, using the effect to add back Cannahawk and immediately normal summon it. Cannahawk can now get the final tamer, in this case when banished, for a final Cannahawk, Ulti-Cannahawk loop. Cannahawk effect, targeting Cannahawk and when, then we will chain, targeting when and Apelio. These get special summoned. This returns to the grave, and we can search follow-up, inheritance, SBTL, or whatever you so wish. Now we can special summon Protoss like last time, banishing 3, Banshee for sure, Gaia Apelio if you so wish, for a free light, as well as Kimon Falco in this case for me. Banshee on resolution will trigger as we control a Pyro. Now we can FTK the fires. And from here, once again like last time, you can go for Ulti Gaia Apelio with these 3, with Notchi being able to tag out into this. You may also go for IP. You may also even FTK lights, like for Melodious matchup, for Voiceless, or you may FTK the Darks. Let's show you that same 2-card combo, but this time with Ram Pengu. And I'll show you how you'll notice the same pattern. We're going to special summon 2 copies of SBTL in the combo. We're going to search Elder, and in this case Canna, and we're going to search Pillica. We're going to start by discarding SBTL to normal summon Pengu, using the effect. Here we're going to start off the exact same as last time. We're going to Foolish another copy of SBTL. Now, we want to simultaneously spec these. We're going to contact fuse by banishing both SBTL to summon Notchi, triggering SBTL to summon here Old Lara. Now we'll go ahead and contact fuse these into Anti-Nibiru, using the effect targeting 2 copies. Sorry, we're going to target Old Lara and Pengu, and in this case we're going to chain, targeting Lara and Lara. This will return to the grave, and we will search Elder. Now we're wanting to search Cannahawk, so we're going to go ahead and make Anti-Nibiru using the effect, targeting both our Laras, and we will search here Cannahawk. Remember, we have not yet normal summoned, so we'll do that with Elder and Cannahawk, using the effect Banishing Winda. From here, we can loop Cannahawk, Cannahawk effect, targeting Pengu and Elder. We'll then chain, targeting Cannahawk and Elder. These will get special summoned. This will return to the grave. And remember, we're going to search Pilika. Now what we're wanting to do is we're going to get our level 4 through Pengu. So we're going to link off Cannahawk, summon Kimon Falco, use the effect Banishing Cannahawk to normal summon Pilika, and Pilika will special summon out here Pengu. At this point, we're going to loop Cannahawk. We'll banish Pilika and Elder, summon Cannahawk, use the effect, targeting Elder, and in this case, Winda. We'll chain, targeting Winda and Pilika. These will get special summoned. This will return to the grave, and we will search to be safe steeds. Now we'll perform the Nemesis combo, using the effect to search Flag. Flag will trigger, returning the Bellio for a free resource, and we'll search here Protoss. Now we'll link off the Flag, the Banshee, and the Kimon Falco to summon Revitoria, and use the effect to add back Cannahawk to normal summon it, and banish, in this case, the final Tamer, When. We'll loop Cannahawk one final time, using the effect targeting Cannahawk and When, chain targeting When and Apelio. And here, I'll search SPTL. We'll use Apelio's effect for free, banishing the Kimon Falco, special summoning the Protoss as we now can summon back Banshee as we have a Pyro in the form of Apelio. Banishing Fire, Light, and Wind. We have another SPTL in the grave, which is good. Summon back the Banshee, call Fire, and like last time, you can also call Light if you want. You can make an Ulti Guy Apelio, you can make IP here, for example. And this is your endboard. Now what happens if you don't open Cannahawk with SPTL? Well, if you open any Tamer or any other brick, you can do a combo like this. We'll discard SPTL to normal Lara. Now we'll contact fuse, summoning Notchi. Here we'll use the effect of our SPTL. We'll special summon Cannahawk, using the effect of Cannahawk to banish another copy of SPTL. Remember, most of the combos that use SPTL in the hand will involve special summoning two of them at the same time. We'll tag out our Notchi Drago here to summon that old Lara, and contact fuse these into Ulti Cannahawk. We'll use the effect of Ulti Cannahawk targeting old Lara and new Lara. We'll chain targeting two new Laras. Here we're going to go ahead Elder. Now we will contact fuse into Ulti Canna and use the effect to search, targeting two Laras. And we'll search Pengu. From here we'll normal summon Elder, we'll normal summon Pengu, using the effect Foolish Burialing Winda, and banishing Ulti Guy Apelio. We'll loop Ulti Cannahawk, targeting Gaia and Pengu, chaining, targeting Elder Pengu. And here we will search Pilika. Now we'll use Pengu's effect. Now we want to get Apelio in rotation, so we're going to send the Ulti Apelio to Foolish Apelio. So the only we have in Spect are Apelio and Winder. Remember, we want to keep the level 4 on the board, so we'll link off the other two monsters for Kimon Falco, using the effect to banish, in this case, Apelio. We'll normal Pilika and use the effect to bring back Winder. Now we can go ahead and loop Ulti Cannahawk, using the effect, targeting Winder and Apelio, will chain, targeting Pilika and Apelio. And we will search Steeds. From here, we're going to go ahead and overlay these into Banshee and use the effect to search Flag. We'll summon Flag and recur a resource for free in the form of Apelio. Flag will resolve searching Protoss. From here, in this line, because we started off with a Tamer and Lara and not Cannahawk, we won't be able to keep our Tamer on the board. Pilika will go to the extra deck, these will go to the graveyard as it's a pendulum monster. We'll summon Raritouria. From here, we're going to special summon Protoss by banishing 3. We'll banish Banshee, we'll banish Gaia Pelio, and in this case, Lara. Banshee on resolution triggers. Now we can use the effect of Raritouria to add back old Lara and normal summon it. We'll then go ahead and use Lara's effect to reborn Kimon Falco for free. From here we can link these into IP and use the effect of Raritouria calling fire. And this is our end board. Let's now go ahead and show you some of the combos with Emergency Teleport. This is a very interesting and unique line that has around Pengu. So let's go ahead and go through that. So we'll activate Etele, use the effect. Here we're going to summon out a copy of Zephyr and Pilika. A good way to remember this combo is that Penguin plus Etele will summon the other Penguin. We'll normal summon Rampengu, use the effect. This line is very non-standard and very unique, so write this one down in your notes for sure. So we'll dump Lara. From here we'll contact views using Pilika and SBTL to summon Nochi. Trigger the effect of SBTL to summon out Wen, specifically. I know, it's a lot to remember. Now we'll go ahead and use the contact views mechanic. We'll go Cannahawk effect to return, targeting Wen and Pengu. We'll then chain, targeting Pengu and Lara. And here we will search old Lara. The reason for this is because Pengu will now dump Cannahawk. So we'll dump Ulti Cannahawk, we'll dump Cannahawk. Remember, we want to keep the level 4 on the board, so we'll link off Nochi and SBTL for Kimon Falco, using the effect, in this case banishing Wen, to normal summon Lara. Lara triggers to bring back Cannahawk. Cannahawk then triggers to banish Winder. Now we will go ahead and loop Cannahawk for free. Banishing Cannahawk and Lara. Remember, we want Cannahawk in the banish pile. Using the effect, targeting when, targeting Lara, chain, targeting Lara, targeting Winder. And here we will search Elder. Now we'll go ahead and overlay, summoning Banshee and using the effect to search Flag. From here, we're going to link off all our bodies. Now you might be saying we might be one short, but don't worry, because that's why we searched Elder. We'll use Elder's effect, targeting Cannahawk to add it to the hand, then we'll normal Elder and normal Cannahawk, using the effect to banish Apelio. From here, we'll loop Anti-Cannahawk, targeting Cannahawk, targeting Elder, chain, targeting Elder, targeting Apelio. And here we will search Steeds. From here, we can use Apelio's effect for free to banish Kimon Falco. Now we can special summon Protos. Oh, sorry, we'll summon Flag, returning Ulti-Guy Apelio to recur a resource. And we'll search out here, Protos. We'll special summon out Protos now because we have the Apelio or the Pyro on board. Banishing 3, Banshee, Lara, and Notchi. Banshee will trigger to summon on resolution. We'll then FTK the fires. You can also FTK any matchup that you so wish. Before you do that, sorry, you'll go ahead probably and make an IP. And then you can FTK the fires. So you can do something like this, for example. The final combo I'll be showing for this video is what you can do with Emergency Teleport plus a brick. So let's say we open Emergency Teleport plus a Tamer. In the E-Teleport combos, it's going to go something like this. We'll activate Etele, summon SBTL. We'll normal summon a Tamer, in this case Lara, and contact fuse these into Anti-Cannahawk. We'll use the effect of SBTL, and we'll special summon out here Cannahawk. We'll use Cannahawk's effect, and in this case, we'll go ahead and banish Pengu. We'll use Cannahawk, targeting SBTL, and old Lara, chain, targeting Pengu and Lara. These will get specced, this will return to the graveyard, and now we will search. In this case, we're going to want to reborn what Pengu dumps, and we've used Lara in this case, so I'll go for Pilika, as it's effectively the same thing. We'll use Pengu's effect now to load Winder into the graveyard by banishing Ulti-Guy Apelio. And we want to keep the level 4 on the board, and we want to get Cannahawk in the banish pile, so we'll link off the Cannahawk. For Kimon Falco, using the effect, banishing Cannahawk to normal summon Pilika. Pilika triggers to special summon Winder. We'll go ahead and now do the Nemesis combo, using the effect, and here we will search Flag. We'll special summon Flag, returning Ulti-Guy Apelio to recur a resource, and Flag will resolve, searching Protos. Now we can link, leaving the Tamer on the board, as we're going to add back Cannahawk off the link for. Using the effect, target Cannahawk, normal Cannahawk, Cannahawk effect, banish Apelio. Fuse into Anti-Cannahawk, effect targeting Cannahawk and Pilika, chain, targeting Pilika and Apelio. And now we will search Steeds. From here we can special summon Protos with the Pyro on the board, banishing 3, the Banshee, SBTL, and in this case Winder. Banshee triggers to summon. From here we can go ahead and we can link these into IP Masquerena, FTK the fires. And that is pretty much what you can do from there. You can also, at the end of the combo, contact fuse, as we have not summoned Nochi, so banishing a Tamer and a Beast to summon Nochi Draco, and this is your end board. I lied, I'm going to show you one last final combo, which is a unique line as well, which is Elder plus Lara. There's also an Elder teleport line, which I won't get too much into as I'm falling asleep virtually on camera. We'll normal summon Elder and normal summon Lara. Now we'll contact fuse these to summon our Cannahawk. In this specific line, we're wanting to tag our Cannahawk, but we need a monster in the banish pile. To do this, the only monster that we can summon in this specific line is Pengu. We'll use Pengu's effect. We'll use Pengu's effect here specifically, banishing ulti Cannahawk, and here we will Foolish Burial Cannahawk. We'll go Cannahawk, target Cannahawk and Elder, chain, target Elder, and SBTL, returning this, and here we will search out Lara, or Pilica. We'll keep the level 4 on the board, make Kimon Falco, use the effect, banishing in this case, Elder, normal summoning Lara, Lara triggers to special summon Cannahawk, Cannahawk triggers to banish Winder. We'll go ahead and loop Cannahawk now by banishing Cannahawk. Remember, you always want that banished. Cannahawk targeting Cannahawk, Elder and Winder will chain, targeting Lara and Winder, and we'll search Steeds. We'll now perform the Nemesis combo. Use the effect of Banshee, detaching anything, searching, flag. Now we will contact fuse by banishing Winder and Elder, as we don't want to flag return Cannahawk, as we're going to need that later. We'll use flag, returning Elder, and use the effect of flag to search Protoss. Because we have no other way to simultaneously special summon, we're going to leave the flag on the board in this line, summon Revitoria. From here we're going to special summon Protoss by banishing Lara, specifically Banshee and SBTL. Summon Protoss, trigger the effect of Banshee to summon itself. Use these two to make IP Masquerena, because we need to clear up our board to summon our old Lara. We'll use the effect of Protoss calling fire to FTK the fires. Use the effect of Revitoria, adding back old Lara to normal summon it. Use the effect to special summon Kimon Falco from the graveyard for free. And so this is your board with Elder plus new Lara. Cannahawk Etele is a combo I won't be showing just because I almost always use Etele as an extender should my Cannahawk get hand trapped, because Etele can then special summon SBTL. So let's move on to the next. Now talk about also one extremely important thing which I don't see a lot of resources out there for, which is Dimension Shifter. Dimension Shifter is a unique card because in some cases it improves your combos, but in some cases it also weakens your combos. So what do I mean by that? Well, let's go ahead and show you what we can do with a Dimension Shifter and one Pengu. This will effectively turn your Pengu into a one-card Cannahawk combo. We'll start by using Shifter, normal summoning Pengu, and using the effect, banishing Ulti Guy Pelio and SBTL from our deck. Instead of getting sent to the graveyard, in this case, it will get banished. We'll use SBTL, and just like the one-card Cannahawk combo, we'll summon old Lara. Now we can contact fuse these into Ulti Cannahawk using the effect, targeting old Lara and Pengu, then we'll chain targeting SBTL and Pengu. Cards can return to the graveyard under Dimension Shifter because they're not being sent. Now just like the Cannahawk combo, we're going to search in this case when. We'll use Pengu, And now we want to get to Cannahawk. So we'll banish Anti-Cannahawk and send from our deck to the graveyard, or in this case the banish pile, Cannahawk. We'll go ahead and link these into our link to Kimon Falco. We'll use the effect banishing our Lara in the graveyard to normal summon Wen, which will allow us to special summon out here Anti-Cannahawk. We'll use Cannahawk's effect now, and in this case we will banish Winder. Now we'll loop Anti-Cannahawk, but before we do that, here is one extremely important thing to remember in a lot of your D-Shifter combos. That being, most of the time you will not need to tag out Cannahawk as Chainlink 2 to your Cannahawk. This is because you need to load cards successfully in your graveyard. So instead of going, what we would typically do in this case is go effective Cannahawk, targeting, let's say for example, SBTL to return to the graveyard, as well as Wen, and then chaining it, targeting the Wen and the Winder. What we can do instead is just go effective Cannahawk targeting SBTL and Pengu to just return them to the graveyard and resolve a search. This is because we want to load our graveyard with different attributes for Nochi Drago, as well as for potentially an Arch Nemesis Proto Slime where we need attributes in the graveyard. So one thing important to remember is you do not need to chain and tag out your Cannahawk in your D-Shifter lines, because we want to load our graveyard with as many Ritual Beast monsters in the grave. Now we can use Cannahawk to target Wen and Winder to special summon them. This is important because now we have two different attributes in our Ritual Beasts in our graveyard to now contact fuse into Nochi Drago. Hopefully this makes sense. From here, just like the one card Cannahawk combo, we'll leave the level 4 on the board to make Raritari, using the effect to add back Spiritual Beast Cannahawk to normal summon Elder and Cannahawk. Using the effect of Cannahawk now to banish Apelio. And now we'll contact fuse our Elder and Cannahawk into Anti-Cannahawk. We'll use the effect to target SBTL and Pengu to simply return them to the graveyard. No tagging out necessary. And we'll search here Steeds. Now we'll tag out our Cannahawk, targeting Elder and Apelio. At this point, just like the first combo, we can go ahead and now do the Nemesis combo. This will get banished, and we'll search here Flag. We'll special summon Flag, returning to our deck our Ulti Guy Apelio to recur a resource, and use the effect to search Protoss. At this point now, we can go ahead and link these two off for an IP Masquerena, and special summon our Banshee for free. From here, we can special summon Protoss by banishing D-Shifter, a Wind, and in this case a free body on the field or one of the fires, as there's nothing to really link into. You can make these into an Appaloosa, but in this case if you're queuing into pure Snake Eye or a fire deck like Tempai Dragon, you'll want to do this. It also makes it that we get to keep SBTL in the graveyard. Now we can FTK the fires, and so through D-Shifter you're still able to Protoss lock, call fire, and end on this sort of board. The most important thing to take away is that usually in your D-Shifter combos you do not need to tag out Cannahawk, because you want to load monsters in your graveyard for Nochi Drago as well as Protoss lines. D-Shifter also has some downsides, and that being that you cannot at all play around Nibiru the Primal Being if you draw D-Shifter. The reason for this is that the only way this deck beats Nibiru is by holding the effect of Spiritual Beast Canna Lara to special summon from the deck and the fusion summon of Nochi Drago. But because all of your cards are banished and only return to the graveyard once you've started looping Cannahawk, you cannot consistently play through Nibiru. This is one downside. I'll show you a line if we were to, for example, open Elder Cannahawk plus D-Shifter, and you'll immediately notice why we cannot play around Nibiru. We'll start by using D-Shifter and normal summoning Elder and normal summoning Cannahawk. We'll use the effect. Now usually I would banish Spiritual Beast Canna Lara, but for this reason, because we have D-Shifter, I'm going to banish Pengu. I'm going to contact fuse these into Anti-Cannahawk, using the effect targeting Cannahawk and Elder, and I'll chain targeting Pengu and Elder. These will get special summoned. This will return to the graveyard. Now what we're going to do straight after this is when we make Kim on Falco, we're going to banish the Cannahawk. So in order to special summon it, we're going to need a copy of Wen to summon it from the banish pile. We'll now use the effect of Ram Pengu, dumping Ulti-Gaia Pelio, and we'll dump SBTL. We'll trigger the effect to summon Winder for later on in the turn. We'll contact fuse these off, keeping the level 4 on the board to make Kim on Falco, using the effect banishing Cannahawk as cost to normal summon Wen, which then will special summon back that Cannahawk. Now we can use Cannahawk's effect to banish a Pelio. From here, we're going to contact fuse into Ulti Cannahawk and use the effect to return 2 to the graveyard. Here we can go ahead and return SBTL and Elder. We'll resolve our search, searching for Steeds. Now we'll tag out Cannahawk, targeting Wen and Apelio. From here we'll perform the Nemesis combo, detaching to search Flag. We'll special summon Flag, returning Apelio or Gaia Apelio, using the effect to search Protos. At this point, we can now contact fuse our Lara and our Elder to summon Nochi Drago, as we haven't used it yet. From here, we're going to go ahead and link summon, and our Resolution Banshee will trigger to special summon itself. From here, we'll go ahead and use the effect of Reiratori to add back Wen. We can normal summon it, then use the effect to special summon out here Kim on Falco. Now your opponent is already under D Shifter, so the chances of them being able to play are pretty much 0. However, if you really desperately want, you can still summon Arch Nemesis Protoss if you so wish by banishing D Shifter, Nochi, and Banshee to summon out Protoss. You can then make an IP if you so wish, you can also call fire, you can do all sorts of things, but this is just an example of how the lines work with D Shifter. Here's another example of how D Shifter combos work if, let's say, we open Elder plus Apelio. We'll go activate D Shifter, normal, contact fuse these into Ulti Cannahawk. We'll use the effect of to search, targeting Apelio and Elder. And here, we're going to actually search Spiritual Beast Canna Lara. Now we can contact these from the graveyard to summon Nochi Drago. And we'll tag out Ulti Cannahawk here to summon these back. And then contact fuse these again into Ulti Cannahawk. We'll use the effect to search here, and we'll grab here a copy of Cannahawk. Now we can use the effect to discard Spiritual Beast Canna Lara from the hand to immediately normal summon and trigger the effect of SBTL to special summon from the deck Old Lara. We'll use the effect of Cannahawk here to banish Ram Pengu. From here, what we can do is we can contact fuse into another Ulti Cannahawk and use the effect targeting 2 monsters to return them to the graveyard. In this case, I'm going to target Spiritual Beast Canna Lara, and I'll then chain targeting new Lara and Ram Pengu. Old Lara returns to the graveyard, and here we will search Wen. At this point, we'll go ahead and use the effect of Ram Pengu, Gaia Pelio to foolish here Winder. From here we want to keep the level 4 on the board, so we will link off Cannahawk and SBTL to summon Kim on Falco, use the effect to summon Wen by banishing from the graveyard, in this case Lara, use the effect of Wen to special summon back Cannahawk. We can use Cannahawk's effect, and here we're just going to banish another tamer, in this case Pilika. From here, we'll contact fuse into Anti-Cannahawk, using the effect to return to search. I'll put Lara back, and we'll put, in this case, Cannahawk. And we'll search Steeds. Now we'll tag out Cannahawk, targeting, window, and Pillica. From here, we can perform the Nemesis combo, and you can start to see how this starts to become the same combo. So that's just the idea of the D shifter lines, how you just want to return cards more of the time, as you don't need to tag out Cannahawk. If you've made it at this point in the video, thanks so much for watching. Let's now have a little bit of an FAQ about some questions I always get asked. The first being about Pot of Prosperity. This card's interesting because going first you can realistically only banish 3 cards face down from the extra deck. However, going second, you pretty much will find out if you win or lose in that turn, so you can comfortably banish 6 going second. So the question is, what do I banish going first with Pot of Prosperity? Well, it depends on my hand. If my hand has Elder and Cannahawk or Elder and Pengu, and I can consistently play around Nibiru with that hand, then I will choose not to banish those cards. However, if my hand is something like Spiritual Beast Canna Lara and Cannahawk, or an emergency teleport plus a brick, or any hand where my hand is essentially not a way to beat Nibiru, so Elder Canna or Elder Pengu or Inheritance plus any of those cards, then I can comfortably banish Appaloosa, Link Spider, and for me, Heater. The reason for this is because I can't play around Nibiru anyway, I'm not going to be summoning any of these cards regardless. And Heater for me only personally comes up when I go second into a Fireboard. So these are the cards I'll banish face down. If however I can play around Nibiru, then what I will usually do instead is banish Heater, a Zealantis, and 1 copy of Nochi Drago. The second one will not be relevant, as I'll be able to recycle my first Nochi Drago in the combo if I play around Nibiru and I open Elder Canna or Elder Pengu. So that is how I use Pot of Prosperity personally. I've been doing Ritual Beast combos almost every line for about an hour and a half. These aren't even all the lines, which is crazy. I hope you found this video informative, educational, entertaining. My brain is very tired. It's 12:30 AM. So I hope you found this video informative and helpful. Sorry if I stumbled a bit through it. Got a bit tired and my voice is very croaky. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Good night.